So let's talk about contingent offers. What are contingent offers? Well, as a home seller, you have to be aware of buyers and all of their contingencies when they're coming into the deal. Sometimes buyers have contingencies for financing. They have to get a mortgage. Sometimes they have contingencies for an inspection, like they have to do a home inspection at your house in order to complete the deal. Any one of those things is a contingent offer in a sense. But when real estate agents talk about contingent offers, they are primarily talking about buyers who have to complete the sale of another property in order to purchase your property, you the seller's property. So this is pretty common, and you will see it especially in buyers' markets. And it is a concession of sorts. Buyers are going to come in, they're going to say, I have a house to sell, and then I'll buy your house. It sometimes happens in higher price points, not necessarily as, a lot of people think, sellers markets, buyers markets, they think about location, where in the metro that is. It's not always a geographic thing. Sometimes it's a price point thing. So if there are some property, let's say $800,000 properties, right now in, let's say, Olathe, Kansas, that is a buyer's market. $200,000 homes in Overland Park right now, in, let's just say, July, August 2018, that is a seller's market. So don't think just geography, but anytime you're in a buyer's market, meaning that the buyer is the one that has the edge, the buyer's in control of these transactions a little bit more than the sellers, the buyer gets their choice, you're going to see concessions like this contingent offer thing show up more. And so you need to know this as a home seller because there is a risk to accepting a contingent offer. I want to get into that. And this leads me into when you're doing some due diligence and you're reviewing the offer, you need to realize what stage of the sale that buyer's home is in, because that's going to make all the difference in the world. Now, if the home is 2 weeks away from closing and all the due diligence on that other home is already done, the appraisal's done, the home inspection's done, the earnest money's dropped off, the buyer for their home has already been approved for the loan or whatever it is, and they're just waiting on the title company to do whatever, that's more of a sure deal than, let's say, a buyer who has a house to sell. The house isn't even staged, it's not photographed, it's not on the market yet. You can see how those two might be a little bit different and sit differently with you as the seller, okay? So the kick-out clause, which is the heart of what we're going to talk about today, the kick-out clause is to ensure you have the right to leave the deal if the buyer's house doesn't get sold in a timely manner. So you take a risk taking your home off of the market to potential buyers who don't have a house to sell when you accept a contingent offer. And if that contingent offer that you accept is from a buyer who doesn't have their property even under contract yet, meaning there's no buyer to buy their house, you have the right to insert a kick-out clause which says in the states of Kansas and Missouri, most of the time you have 48 hours. You have to give that buyer 48 hours notice when a better offer comes in. Better meaning an offer that's not contingent. So you take an offer from a contingent buyer, their house is not under contract yet, fine. You mark it as C contingent on the MLS and it shows up on Zillow and all the other real estate sites that way. But then another offer comes in a day later, let's say it's a cash deal, there's no contingencies at all. You now have to put that buyer, meaning the first buyer, on alert that they've got 48 hours to sell their house. And it could be 48 hours, could be 72 hours, it's whatever you agree to. That is a kick-out clause. It's saying you have the right as a seller to kick this person out if they can't get their house sold. Okay, so in the next part of this video, I want to talk to you about how you can protect yourself as a seller when you're dealing with these contingent buyers. Okay, 3 things that you can do. First thing you want to do is if the home that they've got to sell is within driving distance, drive there. Put your eyes on the property. Check the property out. Do a walkthrough, okay? Also run the comparables. Make sure that the market is telling you that this home is priced fairly, or maybe it's not priced fairly, and that's a discussion that you might need to have with these buyers, as uncomfortable as that conversation may be. This is a lot easier to do if the property is already on the market and listed with a real estate agent, because you can just set it up through the MLS and you and your listing agent can just go out there and check it out and, do a little bit of that due diligence, kind of, think about what are buyers going to think about this house when they come in? And again, it matters to you because if that house doesn't sell, your house won't sell. The second thing you're going to want to do is get some form of non-refundable earnest money. The reason why I recommend you do this is because contingent offers have a tendency to be longer contracts than non-contingent offers. So you might have, let's just say, on a regular 30-day contract from a non-contingent buyer, that could turn into a 60-day contract because they need time to get their house under contract. You might have a 60-day contract and you might be hanging out with this buyer for 30 days only to find out their house didn't sell. Now, what are you going to get out of it? You've lost 30 days on the market, or you've lost 30 days or wasted 30 days of your time. At the very least, you want to get some sort of earnest money that you can have as recompense for the time that you've spent. Now, the third and final thing you want to do is consider, before you ever take this contingent offer, that you are going to need to do due diligence both for the deal that you've got with your house and the deal that they've got with their house. The lack of due diligence is the number one reason why these contingent offers fall apart. This is incredibly important. So listen up. Most of the time, the listing agent is doing some form, or you, if you're doing this for sale by owner, are doing some form of due diligence. You're checking for the buyer's pre-approval letter. You're checking the contingencies that are in the contract in the sense that you know that they've got the opportunity to back out for a low appraisal. You know they've got an opportunity to back out for an inspection that yields something wrong in the inspection. You are doing the due diligence on the contract and with the buyer and with the title company and the lender and all these things to make sure that this deal is coming together, okay? And you're spending time and effort on that, and you're communicating with people on that. Just know your work is going to double because you're going to do that for the other deal too, between that seller who happens to be your buyer and whoever is buying their home. So you need to get involved and not be ignorant and ignore what's going on with this other deal because it's going to affect your home. The lack of good due diligence is the number one reason, I'll say it again, why contingent offers fall apart. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you. Make sure to share it with anybody that you think might be able to benefit from it. And again, Edward Stevens from the Stevens Group, looking forward to helping you sell your home one day. Talk to you soon.